Chapter 44. Carlos handed his boarding pass to the attendant. He entered the walkway to the plane before Sam. Sam held back a few minutes to give Frank and Carlos a few minutes to stare at each other. Carlos was going to have to learn how to think on his feet. Sam made a note in his head to explain red, yellow, and green mode to Carlos. It would take some of the anxiety away. When working in a team or group, it's possible that he read that chapter already. It was the one after the section explaining how knowing your confidence is well-placed and appropriate. If Carlos looked comfortable when Sam sat next to him, he would know whether Carlos was ready. Sam walked down the aisle. He waved at Frank and noticed Carlos in the back. He looked good. He even had a smirk on his face. Even better. Sam sat down. "I'm assuming you read the confidence chapter." "Sam, that shit is brilliant." "Carlos, no swearing in my presence. You're not at that level yet." "Oh, sorry." "No problem. Just kidding." But confidence has levels that can deal with intimidation. Just hang back and don't let the ego get out of control. When in doubt, be humble. It takes time and practice to know what arena you've walked into. Frank has been knocked down a few pegs, but don't let that fool you. He has years on you dealing with hidden agendas. Step forward before your time, and you will be mopped up and discarded. Your time now is learning to work together in a positive relationship first. Sam knew it was time to snap on the seatbelt. He didn't care. This last leg of the trip was getting to him. Sometimes you have to go down in flames to do what's right. He was scared of the unknown. No matter how much he wrote on that pad, it wouldn't cover the bullshit he tried to prevent. It was good enough while it lasted. Moving forward was going to be a ball buster. The spiritual laughter was making fun of him. His insides always told him, it always turns out the same. His emotions started to let go when he stood. Sam wouldn't sit next to Carlos until he was ready. The one thing he wanted, she couldn't give him. The thing she needed, he couldn't give her. Sam almost made it to the bathroom door. Carlos heard the sound of fear that came from deep inside Sam's chest. It would take a while to get himself right, but he pitied anyone standing in his way. When he did, putting 100% into something usually never happens. God help me when I flip on that switch. The pages he wrote in the past were about to be burned and stamped in history. Max warned him about this. Nothing he ever said could prepare Sam. He had to prepare himself. Sam exited the bathroom after the plane was in the air. He walked forward up the aisle and knelt down next to Frank. Sam took a minute for Frank to really feel the ugly look on his face. When he did, "I'll let you go in Portland because of your woman. That mistake will not happen again with any more mutiny. You better be ready at 4. You really don't know anything you've paved until the arena tomorrow. Believe me, you will be picking a side then. Just be glad I've held back and forgiven you." Sam stood and marched to the front of the plane. He entered the stewardess area and asked for an upgrade to first class. He waited and they delivered. Sam laid down and wanted to sleep most of the flight. He asked the staff to wake him for food and to offer the menu to Carlos and Frank in coach and business class. He added, if that wasn't possible, to have them order the extras that they offered on his bill. Sam wanted to see what happened after he ate. He set his phone to ring at 9:40 a.m. Food should come at 10 and his new life would start at 10:01. He determined his smart-ass attitude would remain intact. Corinthian Jr. was in his head when he woke up. Sam figured he needed to get some answers on how he should live. He didn't want to assume he knew everything about his predicament. To start, he researched some stuff on his phone. His father leaving him and Bruno leaving him in the dark was bullshit. He intended to connect it together. Sam got up and looked down the aisle. It looked like the two were talking it up in coach. Frank had better be picking a side and building instead of trying to take over. The meeting would smooth things over or blow things up. Sam sat down and decided to call Jill. He made sure Wi-Fi was connected and dialed. She picked up on the first ring on a Saturday morning. Weird. She said, "Hi. Jill, start talking." Sam was going to listen. His talking was over. "I want Steven back." Jill waited for a response. She didn't get one. "Sam, tell me what to do." "That doesn't work, and I'm not asking for anything, just what's fair. I will take part in the expense of raising Steven to prove myself. I asked the firm to take me on full-time. I start Monday. Jill, I'll get back to you." Sam thought it was his fault for not standing up to her from the beginning. Sam ate his fruit and some carbs. His brain was moving forward. After 2 bottles of water, he walked the aisles for a few minutes. Sam received a text from Tim. Tim said that Max struck a deal for his quarter and he confirmed their meeting. "Tim, Frank's meeting is at 4. We need to discuss pre-info. Is this about keeping Frank? Sam texted. Leonard forced him to steal money. 2 of 4 years with the one night of $250. I retrieved most of the Frank money, which was in the safe. Sam, am I missing something or should he go into the fist fight? He wanted to buy the bar with Leonard. Frank will probably back out with Leonard's fear and intimidation eliminated. If you buy the bar in total, you will need him. If you buy in part, we can grow the bar, you still need him. I am sending the growth plan. If you just want to be friends, I can consult with just a 10 share left to me. Chapter 45. Sam instructed the two to grab the baggage and meet him outside the front door. Sam carried his small wheeled bag and his carry-on to the front cabin line. He handed the driver a $10 bill to go help them carry the bags. Sir, help those 2 people collecting bags. Sam closed his trunk. Sam hurried back into the terminal and looked at each baggage return for Wanda's flight. He decided he would have better luck looking for her. It didn't take long. She was dressed down, but the fact was she listened to him in Spartan. She had on a Buffalo Bills cap, white t-shirt and jeans. She topped off the outfit with blue Adidas. They hugged a long time. Sam thought her bag must have gone around twice before they grabbed it. Sam, I've got a gift for you we can talk about later. You making a statement with that t-shirt and jeans or proving a point that you listen well? I did listen, but looking this good doesn't have anything to do with listening. So does this answer the question in your head? There was no question, but it proves the fact that I was right. What? That any woman that looks good in a t-shirt and jeans is good enough for you. Shit, I fell into that one. So, you must love me then. Looking like that doesn't have anything to do with love. I told you not to say anything like that. Sam, you will be talking with me, and it won't be easy. Shit, on a motherfucking shingle. What does that mean? Wanda, it doesn't mean anything. I'm speechless. Sam called Leonard, and then Bruno. Leonard was on track for Sunday's meeting, while Bruno would meet them in their room. Sam made sure to call the hotel restaurant. He scheduled the same table for 4, 6, and 9 p.m. Sam placed all the food and drink orders ahead of time and asked for a second table placement for the 6 p.m. appointment. In the cab, Frank confirmed their meeting at 4. Sam told Carlos his meeting was at 9 with Tim. Frank, our dinner is alone to go over the basics of the future of cold beer and tomorrow's meeting. Mostly just a review and your part to play and new job description. Sam made a quick list to double-check the momentum of events to cover before his brain got tired. He listed the option, cold beer, hip jewelry, the print shop, Sales 101, the sandwich shop, and Cane Stock Syracuse. He would keep Cane Syracuse, but reorganize his time there. The others would be, for the most part, sold or used as future sales income. The proceeds would be split in his divorce or used in new companies Sam would start this fall. Sam formed a new theory in his head. They pulled up to the hotel, checked in, and Sam grabbed a folder filled with 25 sheets of paper printed on 2 sides. These were forms Tim had the hotel copy for Sam's use. They were the short paperwork to confirm everyone's intentions of their agreements. In the past, his father used this type of logistics to smooth over any miscommunication. Sam confirmed all the room assignments. They confirmed Bruno, Sam and Steven, Wanda, Arthur, Max and Tim, Jim, Cindy, Leonard, Frank and Carlos, and Miguel and Sal. Sam called a developer of townhouses about renting a unit on Monday. Sam originally purchased the storage units and 40 acres. He sold 30 acres to Harry to build on. Sam planned to rent the rest of his storage units to future occupants. Hey Sam, I took care of that executive you sent my way. I gave her the best unit. Which one? First one on the right, 6B. When we talked for that minute, I thought 6A was the shit. Sam, you told me how to market the place. She will fill the place in 2 months. She is one decision maker. 6B is the smaller 2-bedroom. I crapped my pants when she paid cash for both sides for 6 months. Both sides. Sam, you okay? Shit, I guess I got her at a good price. She take a storage unit. Yeah, I'll give you a check when you move in. Harry, I need you to put in reinforced doors and a window on my storage unit number 6. Is that something you can do for me before Monday? Is that doors or door? Doors. Sam, I'll do the entry door tomorrow and the garage doors by next week. Sam confirmed a drink with Wanda at 8 after their dinner at 6 in the restaurant. He needed to go over their contract that was combined and came together this week. She said she would be ready. While Sam washed up, he asked Bruno for Wanda's Jeep keys and his credit card. Bruno, I have a place to live set up for Monday. Here is the address. It has storage units at the end of the street. Our deal is 6 months, if you still want to do it. You will be transition manager at Kane Syracuse. My office is yours. When do you want to start? Bruno stuck out his hand. He grabbed Sam's hand with a solid grip. Sam, is that renewable? I may want to take over the lease. To be upfront, I have to be flexible, but I will conquer the job. My only reason for this is to be with you and your son. But listen, I will move my things to a storage unit and start the following Monday with an appearance to the job the previous Friday evening. Tomorrow, I will not be watching the Leonard thing. I can't do it. You will need to get a stand-in for that. Sam was going to leverage the firm with Bruno's help. He asked Bruno one thing, and he answered him. Sam stretched and moved around for an hour. Bruno, our dinner is scheduled for 6. You mind waiting for Steven to get in? ETA for them is 5. Maybe in the morning you could go to the Chicago Art Museum with him. Sam, I'll wait for him. Museum, good idea. I'll watch him during your meeting tomorrow too. Bruno, you okay? I can handle my own stuff. Just thought you could meet the boy before we live together. Sam, it's not that. We just met, and I have other allegiances weighing on me. It's temporary. Uncle, we have a ways to go relating with each other being you're so old. But just remember, I will understand any of your decisions concerning me. I know you have my back. Shit, you can probably see my intentions a mile away with that shadow and haze viewing thing. Yeah, I try to keep it simple, but it's hard sometimes. Your father had a harder time with that than me. I'm judging Leonard. Then I'm going back to looking at the good intentions the world has to give. Only way to survive without being miserable. I just feel that I don't want to see evil in anyone. It's hard enough just communicating. Bruno said, Amen to that. You'll understand my conflicts soon enough. Bruno, I want you to do things for yourself. You want to paint and do nothing else. I'm in. You want to be a smart ass to the crew at Kane or hibernate somewhere forever. I want what you want. I just need to know what that is. I want to be with you and lay low. I'll just need a room with extra heat in it. Sam showered and dressed in a navy blue suit. He picked a white button-down shirt and his most expensive tie. He resurrected the shoes and gave them a quick polish. If he could continue his progress without the suit, he would. Judgment would never go away. He intended to communicate better to alleviate some of it. He was going to listen to navigate the relationship, whether it be business or personal. Sam walked to the parking garage. He found the Jeep and grabbed the chisel from the bag. The list on his hand said, Frank. Sam put the tool in his left hand and carried the folder in his right. The pen he had in his shirt pocket was working and ready. When Sam walked in the restaurant, he could see Frank sitting at their table. It was a booth in the middle on the left of the space. Frank saw him when he entered and stood as Sam approached. Sam put the folder in his left hand and gave Frank a stiff handshake. They sat and looked at each other for a minute. Sam put down the tool on the inside of the booth. Sam said, I hope you don't mind. I pre-ordered the meals to save time. Sam, that's okay. They ordered their drinks and got down to business. Frank, I have a mini contract to go over the future at Cold Beer. We will talk nothing but the truth. I understand, but if I tell you the truth, I will be fired. No, you give me any bullshit but the truth, you will be terminated or have to face me. You don't want your face beat in, do you? I stole from the company since Leonard came around. Frank waited for a response. He didn't get one. It started with a threat that I better steal game money, something that couldn't be tracked. After he hurt me, I followed through with that, and the threats got worse, and we added other stealing. I think Leonard's hidden agenda was to lower profits and have you sell the bar on the cheap. Sam couldn't help but interrupt. So take our money and get the bar. Frank said, Our money? Yes, our money. Leonard was stealing your future that I laid out when you were hired. You or Tim would have the ability to pave your future in gold. Being loyal and treating your people good was the key. I'm only looking at you because you treated your people well. It's obvious. Most of the money is in the safe, at least my half. Sam smiled. Was in the safe. Yeah. I had Carlos deposited in the bank and made an entry for the theft of the other. Explain most of the money. I used $500 for a deposit for our wedding reception. Okay, Frank. Shit, I'm fired. Sam brought up the folder and took out Frank's sheet of paper. Frank, that $500 is part of your salary for this year. I will remotely add in that as a sale, an expense in payroll. My gift to you on your wedding to Marlene. Cold beer is going to double revenue in the next few years, as you will be fully in charge to make that happen. Carlos will carry on the middleman tradition of reporting to the owner, which will be Tim. Sam took several minutes to explain how things operated in the communication system. You will have the opportunity to buy the bar in 3 to 5 years. That is your punishment for your fear. Okay, read the growth plan, reorganization, and promotions. Sign at bottom. I will be visiting in place of Leonard in December. Be ready and fully aware tomorrow. Frank signed the document as Sam put the chisel on top of the table and withdrew his hand. Sam explained what would happen the next day. He expected Frank to do his part and explained read-on info to Leonard in depth to him. When Sam closed the folder, their food and drinks magically appeared on the table. The next dinner was a family thing, and to see where Arthur was in his head. Stephen would be meeting his uncle Bruno, Wanda, and Arthur. Sam texted Stephen. Stephen responded back with an affirmative on the entrance to the hotel. Stephen, stop by the restaurant with Tim first. I am middle left. Stephen walked straight into the place and set his hand on his father's shoulder. Sam introduced his son to Frank. I love you, boy. Please go find Wanda, and the both of you get Bruno from my room. See you at 6. Dad, no information? 14-year-olds should know what to do. Dad, I'm 12. Well, lately you've been acting like you're 14. Get on it. Stephen walked out. Things were different because he felt different. Sam was smiling at Tim's reaction and the smirk of enjoyment on his face. He could see Tim file that technique into his brain for a time when his son was old enough. Frank said, Sam, that's quite the boy. Frank, the future is going to be scary. It looks like I have it together with all the things that I do. But every new thing takes a whole new fear to tackle. You will understand tomorrow. New shit requires the fading of fear. You step into the dark a little at a time. It's the only way. The shame occurs when you know you have the skills to get to that higher level and you wait years to get started. You've tackled Marlene. Everything I'm asking you to do pales in comparison. Sam, double revenue is a hell of a lot scarier than Marlene. Bullshit. You're looking at it wrong. I met Marlene when I worked at Kane Portland. I had the army under my belt, was still naive and scared to start a business. I applied the idea of Marlene to what my future self had to do. I talked to my judgmental father and asked for help. Most of my ideas seem unrealistic, but look at the bar. My view of what's possible started with her. Average girl with a good face and superior confidence. Now that's scary and freak of nature. Besides, you have me, Tim, and Carlos as backup. They finished their meeting. Frank had the chisel. Sam thought in the back of his mind he would never bet on human nature because fear usually trumped that. But sometimes, people stepped forward and slapped you in the face. Arthur came in first, which was good. Looked like they had a battling of the suits going. Sam knew his tie and shoes were better, but the rest was all Arthur. Arthur topped it off with the better face. Sam got him settled at their table, while the staff made up the other table. With this meeting, the food would come right away after the drinks and appetizers. Over the next 2 hours, it would be musical chairs. Sam wanted to leverage the first few minutes alone with Arthur. Arthur, tell me what happened and what's going on with you. Everything changed after the city. I want to tell the truth and be good instead of being a terrorist. Arthur, perfect word for the screwed up you. This last week, I learned our lives are supposed to be marinated together. Our conflict had to be. It's sad I didn't face you 5 years ago. What the hell is that on your hand? It's a gauntlet. It protects the screwed up finger and welds authority at work. Whatever. Hold this fork while I talk to you. Sam held one end of the fork while Arthur barely held the other. Sam kept thinking heel because he didn't want any snot on the table. Arthur, I'm your boss and have been since the beginning. Bullshit you are. Well, Max is my father, and I bought in 5 years ago before you were hired. I make my last payment next month. We can go over why I'm in the middle later. My father was told a story before I was born. It was unbelievable, but he honored his commitment. Instead of hitting you in the head with a hatchet, he went against his father and kept you on. You are here because of some destiny, so I'm giving you the chance to live it. Okay, give me the fork back. Arthur nodded. I don't know anything about that. So, what do we do now? I will be in the middle to direct the business path. You are the boss to make it happen. Things will be different. You will be meeting a new salesperson that is going to leverage the others to the higher level. I also hired a manager to help with my transition to Kane, New York City. Sam picked up the folder and took out Arthur's sheet. Arthur, are you ready to get the gold and take your punishment? Sam didn't wait for an answer. He said, My new job is to help you get where you were supposed to go. Let that sink in. We hang out and we let things roll along until it becomes apparent the direction we should take. It will probably happen sooner than we think. Sam could hear the three coming up from behind. Arthur and Sam stood, while Sam introduced everyone. He told Bruno to cut it out, because he was giving Arthur an unnerving look. But it was funny. They sat. Pre-meal stuff was ordered, and the piles of food came. Halfway through, Sam started the page. The company is buying the software and using it at all the divisions. We start training the world in February. Arthur asked, We. I know the crew has been using it, and I'm glad you stepped forward and got it started. It's sick, what you have done already. From this point forward, I will handle logistics and you handle the stick. I like that. I figured you would. Wanda, right there, is going to be the fulcrum that moves this company to #1 in 6 months. After that, I will be working part-time in New York City. You will have the complete calm at that time. Someday, when you are man enough, you can buy me out and have everything you ever wanted. Shit. To prove my point, you will be coaching me in a fight tomorrow. I'm not explaining what that means. You are just going to have to step up and handle your commitment to me. Understood. As of right now, Jill is yours. She can tell you why. Your job is to get her right to raise the boy. In the future, there will be no disloyalty or excuses. Punishment will be some of what you will see tomorrow. Sam, what the fuck is going on? Arthur, I don't know. I'm doing what has been placed in front of me. You have to do the same. There is no answer. Just be brave enough to take the controls. I say that as an inspiration because I've been making it smooth for you. Underneath, I've handled the real boss things. You are in for an awakening when it's just you. I will say. Sam had to take a few seconds to get his emotions in check. He looked directly at Arthur and said, I wasn't man enough to do what it took with the wife. But even if I did, it would have turned out the same. Sam, I will do what it takes. Sam could hear a little emotion in Arthur's voice. That was encouraging. Arthur, that's Peter the disciple talking. We will be family, but that's not right now. I'll see you at 1 p.m. for the meeting. Thanks for the dinner. Really, thanks for your change in attitude. Sam grabbed Arthur's left arm and shook his left hand. He pulled off the glove and let him go. Sam moved to the other table. All of them held court and was involved with the intense relationship that was starting today. Stephen jabbed his father about driving a pink Jeep. Wanda added to the story, while Bruno put frosting on the cake. When things were winding down, Sam told Stephen he would be right back. He went to the bathroom to clear his head. The pressure of tomorrow and the unknown was getting to him. Sam put his elbows on the counter and started praying. He was sincere and did it justice. As backup, he said his real father's name under his breath. It's probably too late, but I need your help with the unknown. Sam left it at that and readied himself to conquer the fear of doing something physical that he had never done before. He walked up to the table, shook Bruno's hand, and hugged Stephen hard. You could tell Stephen liked his new friends and family. Sam and Wanda slid into the small booth. He grabbed his folder and went in detail describing her jobs. It included salary, commissions, and benefits. Sam, you sure I'm capable of doing that? I will show you day by day. I want to talk about paying for my apartment. Samuel, now listen close. I'm superior in this area. It would have been nice if you said, day by day and night by night. The apartment paying is not the gift, and the gift is not what you were thinking. I can take care of myself. I was thinking about helping you have a place now instead of later. The exact apartment Harry said you wanted. And just to cover everything else, I made money to keep my mother alive, and then I couldn't get out. Wanda started crying and started laughing when Sam said, I know you're superior. Thank you. Wanda, I don't know what I'm doing. I understand things differently. You will understand when I'm done with you. Girl, nobody's told me what for yet. They talked about the next day. He told her the rest of the story and didn't leave anything out. Wanda stood when she saw Tim approaching. She assumed that was him. All Tim said was, nice to meet you. And Sam is still the luckiest man I've ever met. Wanda leaned over and kissed Sam on the side of his face. She whispered in his ear, I still like you better. Sam moved over to the side table and waited for Carlos. Once the three were seated, Sam started his rundown of the growth plan. Tim, these are suggestions to double revenue. As of Sunday, you will be owner and boss of Cold Beer. Sam, are you sure about this? Why now? I changed my mind. I don't want you to be another Leonard for me. Once you got your degree, I wanted you to have better. Besides, it's time for me to develop other things. Tim was ready. Okay, tell me the stuff. We moved the bar store to an expanded hip jewelry. Use the store space to make our own blueberry beer. Frank will be the boss. Carlos is still middle person reporting to you. The theory will work even with Frank knowing the theory. Edwin will run food and manufacture beer with Gary the chemist. I'll do Leonard's quarterly review until you sell the bar in 3 to 5 years. Time to upgrade the empire. I met with Frank and he's in. Sam covered Carlos' position, increased his salary, and rounded out the benefits for his family. Sam promised new SOPs and suggested payment structures of success delivered next week. The food came again at the appropriate time. Sam always liked this place. Tim talked about the Alaskan cruise they were scheduled to do over the winter holiday. Tim realized his mistake. Sorry about Jill. Tim, I'm going. Business as usual. I wouldn't miss seeing that ramrod boy of yours. We are planning many more vacations together. I'm going to need help tomorrow. You have my back. I already checked his room. No weapons. I appreciate it. If he gets any type of weapon, it will be between tonight and tomorrow morning. Probably tonight. Carlos piped in. Are you too serious? Tim responded, I'd stay 10 feet away from Leonard at all times. Carlos looked at Sam. Why don't you turn him into the police? Sam said, Carlos, this is personal. Police may be involved after the fact. And Carlos, before you leave, I want you to help Wanda from Kane, Syracuse to check in everyone tomorrow. Sam told him what she looked like. Chapter 46. For Sam, when a manager walked around, checked things out, asked questions and participated, they would be successful. Which means, if your people sell things, you need to sell. Or if you expect your people to clean their area, you clean yours. Sam walked around the hotel and checked out the room for the event. It was perfect. He labeled everyone's chair. Cindy had a box of extra-large labels delivered. They were sitting at the main table. This box of labels was Sam's sleight of hand. The labels placed people where he wanted them, which rigged the game in his favor. The rule of the Queen was to move everywhere and check things out. This chess piece was a leader with scout capabilities. She could go and show up anywhere. It wasn't fair, but Sam usually gave a sporting chance. Problem was Leonard was an IED. He was a hidden improvised explosive device. The Queen and an IED against each other was a match made in hell. But the fact was Sam had the wire and the tool. Leonard was about to blow himself up. The meeting was tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon. Sam would scout this place again at 9 and noon the next day. Sam left the battle area and scouted the fields. He needed more info and took the stairs to Leonard's floor. Sam knocked on his door. There was no answer, which meant Leonard was thinking Sam was acting different and he better up the ante. Sam knew Leonard's ego would con his brain into thinking he got away with shooting him. But he probably figured out that Sam knew about the cold beer theft. Leonard would show up with a smart-ass look on his face. Leonard knew from past history that Sam would let him go over stealing pennies. Sam couldn't say he wasn't afraid of him. That's the point of the unknown. He was smart and humble enough to be scared. Being mad or pissed off trumped the dark. When the time came, Sam would be mad enough. Sam double-checked the dessert menu. They were ready and impressed. He texted Wanda, day by day, night by night. That was good. Just saying I heard you loud and clear. Thanks for thinking of me. It was midnight. A little extra sleep would calm his nerves. Sam set his alarm for 7. He said, Good night, Stephen. Good night, Domingo. Wanda woke up early and laid out her clothes for the day. She was ready and had no doubt Sam could show her what to do in her new position. She still needed a title. But the way Sam explained it, her position would always be in transition. Her main mission was to make money, but to encourage the jealous and afraid. Sam said he picked her for those specific abilities. Wanda wasn't quite sure what that meant yet. She started with jealous. Wanda put on her gym outfit. Running on the treadmill would ensure the jealous obtaining skills would remain intact. Last thing Sam told her was to be aware of her surroundings and to improve those skills. She asked him to clarify. He said, The world has people that want to rape and pillage. I need you a step ahead. You have to look, really look and act accordingly. Sam watched Bruno and Stephen go off on their adventure. It was good to have Bruno, not just for the help, but his presence made a difference to Sam. Sam met Wanda for breakfast. They walked to a diner down the street. Wanda still had her workout gear on. She noticed Sam's outfit and started to worry. He had on one of those weirdo shirts under a casual long sleeve. When Wanda grabbed his arm, she felt the hardness on his forearms. Sam, Wanda, you want me to be safe or stupid? At this point, they were facing each other. Sam moved in to close the deal. He reached around her waist, brought her close, and kissed her. Her lips were hot. It was a milestone of communication. Now turn that body around and let's start a fire in there. They entered the diner. Yep, they were a sight, because the world responded with a table right away. Sam ordered veggies, eggs, and meat. When the waitress asked exactly what he wanted, he said, "Your choice, Melanie." Wanda ordered the number 5 with medium on the eggs and placed her feet around the sides of his legs from across the booth. Wanda, Samuel, don't take this personal, but I can't let that little homing device between your legs distract me, because I have shit to do. You do, and don't tell me what to do. Yes, I won't. They ate and looked at each other. Sam said, "You were going to get bored with all this. Sam, you just do your intellect thing and let me concentrate on the boring. So, I don't have to worry about that. You just worry about the pillagers and I'll worry about the fine dining. Wanda, I love you already." Shit, that came out wrong. Sam, that was a little premature. They laughed. Chapter 47. Leonard got up and ordered room service. He had his backup, which he would set up when everything was clear. The thought of having to maybe fight Tim was in his head. He made sure no one could beat him. He wanted to buy the bar. Leonard figured 10 was a good time to wander out. He stayed in his room to keep his time with Sam to a minimum. The 6-part question thing. Sam always did, never went well for him. And the least information Sam had, the better. He tried calling Frank to ensure he didn't cave to any pressure. The thing about this situation was that Sam hadn't showed any signs of knowing about his part. In the past, he would have known and confronted him. Either Sam knew nothing or everything. The Museum of Art was down the street. Bruno knew it would be a good time to think about what was to come. The boy was just like his father. Stephen would bore right in with the pointed questions. It came with that attitude of "don't screw with me" and eliminate the kid answers. So Bruno didn't. "Uncle Bruno, I have questions all day and I expect the facts. No side swiping. Your father says that, doesn't he?" "Yeah, it works for him. I feel trapped when he does it to me. So I learned just to answer him. Uncle, everybody looks at you." Bruno laughed. Short, confident, and a flare does that. Stephen said, "A flare of what?" "Exactly, a flare of everything. My father says you do it on purpose." "Son, your father's pretty smart. Better to live life with purpose than to be dull and boring." "Uncle Bruno, these paintings are okay. I thought they would be better." "Stephen, you don't know what you are looking at yet. Appreciation comes over time from looking at things from a different perspective. For example, see that dark painting? Back in the day, it was clearer, brighter." Bruno took a picture of the painting and brought it to the screen. "Stephen, now check this out." Stephen looked and couldn't believe it. The picture made it look brighter and better. "See all the detail. Stephen, look here and here. That is depth." Stephen watched his uncle's hand emphasize the word. "I want you to take 5 pictures of your favorite paintings. Check them out over time and see what happens inside your brain. Does shit happen? LOL. Uncle, got you on that one." Bruno put his arm around the boy. "Son, I like you." Sam left Wanda. He went to the meeting room and checked everything out. Nothing. Letting go was going to open his brain to some fresh air. The only way to do that was to scream your thoughts into existence. He was going to crack open the hidden agenda of it all. Sam's endless empathy was going to stop drawing in the ones that had none. He entered the open space and lined up 5 chairs on the side. The one thing about new sneakers was the grip on new waxed wooden floors. Sam moved around. His body was good and loose after not lifting for the week. His footing was sure and natural. He just had to let go. Sam did each new move 4 times to get the feel of the floor. The success of each move depended on the bending and leverage of his arms, legs, and waist. Timing was crucial, so he eliminated half the moves. Sam thought about his uncle's input, severity with severity. He walked back to his room to get ready. Around 11, Bruno and Stephen came back to the room. Sam had dozed off, which was a good sign that his body would react well to the conflict. He rose from the bed and washed up. They sat at the table and talked about the museum. Sam enjoyed Stephen's interests. He knew that Bruno's input into his son's life would help round out their one-sided environment. This would help his son separate his interests from his father. Sam told Stephen about their new apartment and neighbor. "Stephen, this apartment will be next to Wanda's. Her side is a 2-bedroom, while ours is a 3. Both apartments share a sunroom in the back. This will probably be Bruno's studio for painting and a family end-of-the-day room. Your room will have new stuff, computer, and TV. The room at your mother's will stay intact. That poster you have sitting in the bunker will be put on your wall as a reminder. You will have a black and white TV in your room for 1 month. If you do well on your punishment, it will be wheeled out, hopefully for good. The place is a couple 100 yards from the bunker. Same rules as before. This next week, we can sit down with your mother to figure out your time with her. If that takes a while, it does. We will be there your 7th grade year. At that time, we will decide together if we intend to stay. This year I will be spending time in New York City, Syracuse, and Major, Tennessee. At no time will you be alone. If you want to be with your mother and just visit me, you can do that. Anything you want to say so far? So, we will be near Mom until June or August? August. I can stay with whoever I decide? Yes, if there is no judgment against your mother in your decision. We could be in Syracuse forever. I'm being upfront about my situation and the arrangement will be agreeable to everyone. Your decision will be on a schedule. No funny business. Following the rules. Chapter 48. Around 11:30, Sam quickly took the stairs to the meeting room. While walking to the door, a janitor came out with a mop bucket. He was bent over moving the bucket along. The guy greeted Sam with an accent from somewhere. He had on work pants and shoes with a white t-shirt covered by a brown flannel shirt. Sounded like AV. Sam held the door for him. Guy says, "Room is good now." Sam looked at him. "Thanks, what's your name?" "No name." He waved his hand and stood up straight. Sam had a funny feeling on the back of his neck. Something wasn't right. This guy had no weaknesses. Sam felt unsafe. "You really mopped that floor?" "Really. I checked those chairs as soon as possible." Sam was speechless as he watched him walk away. He wasn't a police officer, government, or military. He was his father. Sam yelled down the hallway, "You coming back? How's my shit look?" He turned around and looked straight at him. "You don't need to swear. Your shit looks yellow. Just be a little smarter this time. Your problem is you have to look and not hold back. You have always held back. Your mother didn't raise you to be that way." "Yes, sir. Did I get the name right?" His father said, "No one said you weren't smart." Sam walked into the room and lifted up Leonard's chair. Knife and a gun velcroed to the bottom. Sam emptied the clip and chamber, but left the knife. He knew Leonard would check the bottom when he sat down. Sam thought to himself, his father was good at this stuff. Sam texted Wanda and Carlos. He confirmed they would check everyone in and later set up the dessert menu in an adjoining room. Sam walked to the Jeep. He grabbed the second box of pennies and duct tape. Back in the room, his son watched him cover several spots under his shirt and pants. "Dad, what are you doing?" "Son, I just saw my real father. He told me not to swear and be smarter. So I am." Bruno watched the boy. "Steven, our future is changing for the better. The projects we will work on will be legendary. Don't worry. By 3, we will begin the beginning." Sam moved around. It was almost unnecessary at this point. He was good. At exactly 1, Sam walked slowly to the elevator. He was going to look and not hesitate. The fastest way between 2 points was a straight line. All contracts would be signed or set aside. Complications would be dealt with effectively. He would have to honor no swearing at a later date. Earlier, Sam moved his left forearm guard to his upper arm and shoulder. He would cover then move on every advance from Leonard. On his left hand, he placed the gauntlet. The sight of that would irritate Leonard. The outfit Max would have on would put Leonard into miserable mode. Entering the hallway, Sam saw Wanda holding post at the main door. Carlos exited the door of the adjoining room. He stood next to Sam and nodded that everything was set. Sam entered and greeted the 5 executives that Leonard worked for. The original sale was explaining to them what to look for, find the theft and pain he caused, and decide what they wanted. They all looked ready. Sam asked the group, "Is the priority to burn or the money?" It was unanimous. "Have a good dinner. Dessert at 2:30. Tim was in charge of the paperwork and security. He was basically the hammer when needed and a referee. The setup of the room was simple. It was 2 rooms separated by a wall divider. The opposite wall had 2 tables running parallel to it. The main table of 4 chairs faced a long table of leaders of Sam's companies. Most of the contracts were agreed ahead of time. Conflicts occurred when a person involved in theft or other wrongdoing didn't want to play nice. Usually, Leonard did the enforcing. The person in question would be given the option to accept the verdict. Most just signed. If they didn't accept it, they would sign and challenge the enforcer. If they won, the papers were ripped up and both parties went their separate ways. Sam introduced the head table. The four sitting were Leonard, Sam, Tim, and Max. I'm Sam Shepard, owner of the companies present today. All but one will be sold today. We call this event Changing of the Guard. It started years ago with my grandfather, Sam Kane. It was used for rewarding or punishing during a transition. To my left is Max Kane. As my father, he will be the judge of today. Next to him is Tim Parker, future counsel to Max and enforcer of today's agreements. To my right, Leonard Decker, past counsel of my companies. Sam placed the gauntlet from his left hand and put it over a glass on the table. He decided this would be put on a stand in the conference area at Kane Syracuse as a symbol for the next year. Starting fresh to divide and conquer. It sounded good. The food came in waves. Small separate courses that made the dinner move along with every participant feeling excited to be at the event. Most of the people present had heard of Changing of the Guard. They were in the moment. They were proud of their many successes. At this point, Tony Anders walked through the door. He stood and waited. After the first course, Max stood in uniform and explained rewards and punishments. Tim would ensure fairness, while Max himself was the judge. Sam would hand out the offers. Challenges could be asked for at any time. Each meal course and company transition would be 15 minutes. The event was scheduled over the next 2 hours. Transition completion ended at 2:30, while any challenges were handled in the last half hour. Max asked for a show of hands for those in agreement of the rules. Both tables and Tony raised their hands. When Max sat down, he asked Tony what he wanted. I accept the rules, and I'm here to challenge at the right time. Sam couldn't help thinking of misplaced ambition. Sam was ready to divert some attention to some additional conflict. Sam began. This is Tony from Kane Syracuse. He has a physical complaint. Have a seat, Tony, and enjoy the meal. Sam stood up and picked up his plate of uneaten steak. He walked to Tony and placed it in front of him. I accept your challenge. I'm your boss and Arthur's boss. What is your complaint? Arthur's boss. My complaint is I wanted you fired for your assault on me. Tony, you were asked to admit your shit. You were a baby and couldn't admit it. So, I punched your face. You invaded my space with Arthur and stole Kane property. You were involved with a conspiracy to bring down a fellow employee for your benefit. Arthur padded your salary. Your challenge can eliminate the $10,000 you personally owe the company. I challenge you right now. Step up and sign for repayment of the 10. Dad, permission to accept challenge and process this second. Challenge granted. Sam yelled, Tim, you stay put. Arthur, you ref and call the fight. Sam picked up his chair, while Max exited the room to have Carlos time the rounds. Tim instructed Tony to grab his chair to place on the floor. He added that anyone invested in this fight could watch from the 5 chairs on the side. Leonard was the first to stand, while Tim followed him over. The rest turned their seats around. Leonard told Tim, the boy is toast. Bullshit. Golden gloves in the house. Sam was going to hold back on the severe to practice the 5 moves he decided not to use on Leonard. He would escalate after 2 failed attempts. They sat in their chairs. Tony, you win. You owe nothing. I win. You will report to work taking shit orders from me for 1 year, paying back my money. You also accept any consequences from this fight. I will, and fuck you. Carlos yelled out, fight. He started his watch for the 2 minutes. Sam was going to stand up for 1 minute to see if he could weather the storm. During each exchange, he looked at the space and time to throw his punches. Sam noticed he needed to practice throwing with more force when he connected a punch. Tony connected twice during the first minute. Sam moved in and used his experience of close contact to jab his midsection and 1 uppercut to the chin. Carlos yelled, stop. Sam held back in the first round to let Leonard know he lost a step, that he was getting old and didn't have it anymore. First move in the second round was his way to show Leonard his best move. This would warn Leonard to watch and counter that move. Sam saw this move in a movie recently. It was something he had never seen before. Sam intended to leverage it at full speed, but half the impact. There was no sense in hurting Tony, especially when Tony didn't realize that he was outmatched. Payment in full of his debt was needed. A hospital stay didn't help anyone. They stood and moved forward. Carlos said, begin. Sam went in with both arms down. When he was close enough, Tony threw his hardest right-handed punch. Sam stepped forward with his left foot and turned to the right. He ducked his head and covered the left side of his face with his left hand. The forward left foot brought his body about a foot from Tony's fist. When Sam ducked, he twisted his body to the right and his elbow came straight up to Tony's face and smashed it good. It was hard enough to have Tony sit on his butt. Sam leveraged a kick to the side of his face. He stopped short. "You give up?" Tony said nothing and laid down on his back. Sam grabbed his chair and continued the meeting. "Jim from the option, you are up. Grab your chair and meet me at the head table." Tim sat down and handed Sam the sheet. "Jim, as we discussed, purchase price is 1 year's revenue plus cost of inventory. Commission of 10% for any future sales I submit on your behalf. Past loan for stolen money is forgiven. Do you agree?" "Yes." Jim started to quiver and point at Leonard. "I want Tim to put him down. I want it now." Sam immediately said, "Challenge accepted. Do we have a deal?" "Yes, we have a deal." Tim handed another piece of paper and Sam nodded. "That's fair. Leonard, due to your actions, do you agree to pay for Jim's medical for his leg?" "Fuck no. He stole from the company." "Leonard, I forgave his debt, and you were insubordinate. Sign the paper." Leonard signed. "Does this mean the challenge is off?" Sam interjected before his father could respond. "This means the challenge is on. If you win, you don't have to pay his medical." Leonard couldn't help himself. "Old man, I'm breaking your other leg." Cindy with the print shop is up. She came up with her chair. "We agreed 10 cents on the dollar to buy the company plus inventory. Here's your suggested direction for sustaining the business. 6% commission on any printing, while 25% on any labels sold on your behalf. Do you agree?" "Sam, I agree, but I want Tim to bash Leonard's face in for being a pig and sexual harassment." "Cindy, you want any compensation along with the bashing?" "No." Sam started thinking that this situation probably never happened before during changing of the guard. Usually, conflicts were between the owners and main managers or employees. "Dad, is there any precedent for problems with counsel?" "Son, sorry, sounds like a personal problem or we could get law enforcement involved." "Shit, it was his problem." "Leonard, you are an embarrassment. We are escalating." "Leonard, move your chair off to the side. You are on trial." "Sam, this is bullshit and petty. Fucking up the old man's leg wasn't petty. You're fired and I'm taking over the challenge for Tim." "Sam, you can't win. You never have. Sales 101 closed its doors last year." Tim handed Sam the paperwork to close it forever. Both Sam and Tim signed to liquidate the business. It was Sam's first failure. Things were going good until sales dropped unexpectedly and the current manager stopped coming to work. "Tim, paperwork for hip jewelry." Both Tim and Sam signed to make it official. Sam's share was transferred to Tim. "The sandwich shop is up, but now I'm pissed, so stay there." "Miguel, you want to buy it?" "No, okay. Dad, you want to buy for 50 cents on the dollar." His father nodded. "Miguel, come up and grab your bonus check. Awesome job. You are the new manager." "Sal, you're fired for stealing and poor treatment of Claudia." They signed and it was over. Cold beer front and center. Frank and Carlos carried their chairs up front. "Frank and Carlos, tremendous job. You will stay as management after the sale. Here are your bonus checks." "Frank, you are on probation for theft. You have anything to say about the sale or a problem with counsel?" "I would like to buy the bar." "Denied. Tim's buying it." Leonard stood up. "Leonard, sit the fuck down. Your charges just went up for theft and a felony for digital theft." "Oh yeah, 1 point for creativity." Leonard sat but said, "You are a lucky smartass. You are going to hurt." "Leonard, fuck you. I'm not done with you." Tim Z-Pay Pass. The three signed. Last, but not least, King Arthur and Tony of Kane, Syracuse. "Tony, get your ass up here." Arthur and Tony carried their chairs and sat front and center. Sam stood to show authority. "Kane, Syracuse, my greatest success. Huge money with huge temptation. I already beat on these two, but we are moving on. My king, you have anything to say?" "No, sir." "And who's the boss?" "You are." Leonard, as a side note, fuck you, and fuck you. Last week, Arthur decided to enlist my wife to steal software from Kane. Sam was looking directly at Leonard. "But you couldn't stop until I was dead." Arthur hired a police officer to arrest me when I took offense. Arthur didn't know Steve the officer had a past with my wife and I. Things didn't look good for me in the back of a detective car when the officer wanted to kill me. I weathered that. This officer, Steve, followed me across the country, taking my wife as insurance. On this trip, I was shot twice. Leonard started this whole process. And now he has murder and attempted murder to face. Sam picked up his chair and yelled the biggest fuck you. "Frank, You're coaching Leonard. Arthur, you are in my corner. They entered the space and stretched. The stress of this week was peaking. Sam noticed that his real father walked into the room. It was nice of his father to show up, but Max was probably shitting his pants. Leonard, pay attention. Before we start, you are fucked. Carlos, let them in. 5 high-ranking executives walked in and sat in the 5 chairs. It was a sight. All eyes were on Leonard's reaction. There was none. Leonard spit on the floor. So, you're saying I win, they let me go? Leonard, you are stupid and naive. I'm not letting you go. Get ready. Carlos, start the time in 1 minute. The second Carlos said, go. Leonard was running towards Sam. Sam starting running. This was live or die. Leonard threw a hard punch. When Sam ducked, Leonard stabbed him in the side with the knife in his left hand. Right in the pennies. Sam grabbed his knife hand by the wrist and twisted his body for leverage. Sam broke Leonard's grip, holding the knife as he fell. He stomped on his left ankle while Leonard was on the floor. Arthur jumped up and grabbed the knife. Leonard kicked Sam's shin from the floor. Sam saw it coming. It became a glancing blow. Sam decided to back up. He needed to advance from a position of strength instead of Leonard's current position of biting and scratching. Sam motioned him up. He waited for Leonard to limp on his ankle. Sam came forward and punched the central mass of his face. It was a light punch, a mistake that cost him a backhand to the face. He was hurt and bent over quickly to bring Leonard forward. Leonard jumped and elbowed Sam in the middle of his back. This became a near miss when Sam shuffled forward and picked Leonard up in a fireman's carry. He twisted his body over and slammed him as hard as he could on the wood floor. Carlos said, stop. Frank, drag him off and get him ready. Sam walked back to his chair. Arthur looked white. Bruno had Arthur by the shoulder and was replacing him as coach. Where's the boy? Sorry, he's at the door. I didn't have a choice. I wanted to be with you, and they had me by the balls. Sam looked up. Stephen was standing next to the father. They were talking. Yeah, I know. You blew it when you said that word in the room. I didn't want Stephen here. He see anything? Stephen stood next to the man. Stephen noticed he looked like his father with that smart-ass look on his face. It's no wonder people were jealous of him. Stephen would do it different. Stephen said, you are the grandfather? Yeah, I'm Linus. Good campsite at the falls. I couldn't even see you. I brought your bag and tent. It's over there. I think I'll keep it simple. I'll call you Gramps. I think you should leave in case this goes sideways. He's my father. I have his back. Bruno said, he saw everything. Your father wants you to not hurt him anymore. Can't do justice at the same time, especially when you don't want him getting away from having to save his life first. Okay, stand back and remember to use only 10 seconds. 10 seconds what? Sam started walking toward Leonard before Carlos said, go. Sam noticed Clyde and Ernest standing behind the 5 executives. Clyde was using his new trademark, Toothless Wonder smile. Sam couldn't help but salute him and smile himself. Sam looked forward and could see Leonard hobbling toward him with the pistol raised. Sam continued forward as he fired. Click. Sorry, Leonard. You should have been using your peripheral vision. Frank stabbed the chisel into Leonard's right instep. Sam took over. He hogtied him with the wire, attached the end connectors, and jammed them up his nose. Clyde and Ernest brought the stretcher. Ernest reached out to shake Sam's hand. Thanks for the wake-up call. Donna said, I could have a first date if I got a job. She visited me in the hospital. Shit, Ernest, good job. Sam saw his father was gone as Stephen ran toward him. Uncle, 10 seconds only. See you in a bit. We leave in an hour. Sam hugged his son and greeted the 5 executives by name. He handed them his business card. Keep in touch. Alaskan cruise set up for the end of December with Tim and I. Bring your family. Sam believed in his head that all 5 would be on the ship. He walked to the table and grabbed the gauntlet. The chief walked toward him. He told Sam to sit down. Sam sat. I told your woman to stay outside. You know I could arrest you. But we did find a few other bodies buried next to Steve. We used you to lead us and close a few cases linked to Leonard. You didn't think we just gave out the armor? I thought shit was magically coming together. You would think that you are one lucky son of AB. We still having that drinkin' major? Sam said, several. I'm planning a deck on a new business down there. Sam, thank you for ending my career on a good note. Chief, after you retire, you staying right in Major. I built a house there that I really love. The station closes when I retire and the funding dries up. Sam asked, anyone interested in that building? Can't imagine anyone wanting a jail. Building goes back to the town when we are done. Chief, I bet in 6 questions or less I could figure out what to do with it. I'm not betting anything concerning you and your family. The deck is stacked. My father worked for you, or live near Major? Don't really know your father. He blew into town the day you were arrested. He was at the diner when you handled and knocked some sense into my son. The fucker came into the station like a general and took over. I still don't understand what happened. I'll have to find him myself. Sam, you'll never find him. Bullshit. I practiced tracking down my stepfather after my mother died. Ever since then, it's been a game between us. He goes off like a maverick. Tracked him once to American Samoa. Cost me $1,000 to fly there to prove a point. All he could say was, "Shite? I guess you can find me anywhere." The chief said, "Of course I've known Bruno forever. He has been a constant and gave me the idea to specialize. He ever talk about my father? My father must know everything about me or be all about understanding the big picture. Son, I've never seen anything like it. It's exactly like that cannonball move you made up off the cuff. Shit, I've got to go before the duo fucks something up or Bruno makes him a French fry."